Technological Ashes, Chapter 2. What's going on? My eyes blinked a few times, and my mind couldn't fully comprehend what was happening. Wake up! Please fucking wake up! This can't be real! I slapped myself and pinched my arm. Nothing. A cry escaped my lips, a guttural howl that was a new sound, and coming from an emotionally drained consciousness. My eyes were streams of salt water at this point. I just couldn't accept that this was happening. What, how, and more importantly, why? Then the ground underneath my feet started to shake. Again? And when my eyes opened, there it was, the Chemex factory that refined oil. It all ceased to be withheld in the large holding tanks. Nothing but an orange, red, and black fireball. The force of the explosion momentarily took the air out of my lungs and my hearing temporarily went away. Then, as I was the silent observer, the blast wave knocked me off my feet. I flew a few foot backwards and landed hard on my ass. The silent wind felt nice on my skin, slightly cooling it down, a profoundly ironic turn of events. But with that, the wind came the smell of burning ozone and chemicals mixed up with a smell I could only categorize as death. My body took over and kept on gagging and coughing from the horrible stench of death and decay. That, coupled with the horrible air quality, caused me to want to pass out, so I took out a feeble blue hospital mask to help with the breathing. My hands were shaking violently, and my mind and body were unified in a terrible way. God damn it, I'd survived all kinds of horrific abuse growing up, but even my therapist and our therapy couldn't have prepared me for this shit. Move. Please, just move. You can't stay here. You know this much to be true. My achy arms pushed me back up from the stony asphalt, and my legs took me down the hill back towards another road. The heat waves rose from the painfully hot asphalt, burning the soles of my feet. The road itself was a graveyard of stopped cars. Some crashed into others, and some with people in them trying to restart their phones or cars. My mind broke, and a harsh laugh escaped my lips. And I had to stop as the laughter took over. Something then snapped me out of my hysteria. Hey man, please, can you help me? The tears were flowing hard as a mixture of everything all at once, but that voice was a lifeline back to reality. And as I looked up, I saw a man with a piece of shrapnel lodged into his chest, sitting in his car. My first instinct was to walk away, but then I noticed the dog he had with him, a German shepherd, who was sitting patiently by his owner's side, panting with the extreme heat, the tongue falling out of its mouth with rapid panting. So my feet walked over as the guilt of not helping the poor soul lost in the explosion was eating me alive. A part of me didn't want to keep going. I was a doctor, but this man looked like he was dying. My name is Seb. I'm a doctor. The man who was wearing a Hawaiian shirt with jeans and brown Doc Martens. His bloody shirt was growing redder by the second. His graying brown hair was messy and slick with sweat, and blue eyes that looked terrified. I'm dying. I know I don't have long left. Can you talk to an old dying man? I swallowed nervously, but anyway nodded. Yes, I can. What's your name, my friend? He coughed up a bit, and a bit of blood came up. He smiled while wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. I'm Ted, but most call me Teddy. Care for a smoke? He reached into his jean pocket and pulled out a pack of Lucky Red's clove cigarettes, my favorite ones. I smiled sadly as he handed me a blue Bic lighter alongside the pack. I pulled out a cigarette and lit it up with my steady hands. So Teddy, what did you do for work? He got all serious all of a sudden. I worked in the Department of Defense, and listen to me now, Seb, this was no accident, it's all too perfect. His eyes started to flutter shut. What? Wait, how? And most importantly, why? His eyes opened and he looked me dead in the eyes. Atmos, the Atmos Corporation, and General Nathan's. Then Teddy's eyes slowly shut and his German shepherd whined, and I walked over to the dog. I looked at his dog collar, and his name was Sparky. Hey, Sparky, let's get going, boy. We can't stay here for very long. He got up and sniffed Teddy. I know, Sparky. He seemed like a nice person, and Atmos is involved, somehow. Atmos? How could they do anything to knock out the world's power grid? But I looked down at my shoes, and Teddy's dock looked like better shoes for me if the power was gone. I swallowed nervously again. I told Sparky to stay put. My hands started to shake a bit as I knelt down onto the scorching ground. His shoes were untied one by one. I sat in the back seat and changed my blue Nikes for his blue Doc Martens. I got up and stretched and whistled to get Sparky's attention. Come on, Sparky, let's get going. Let's go down towards the river or somewhere with some shade. I took out a cigarette and we walked down a hill away from all the stopped cars. There was a river and some sandy beaches with lots of shade from some big cedar elms. I saw Sparky run into the river, and I just stood by the banks watching my water reflection. Why, God? Why? I just started to quietly sob into the river. This was too much. This was way too much.